Imagine spending your whole life building something. Every song, every late night in the studio, every ounce of your heart poured into your work. Then one day, you wake up and someone else owns it. Not just a copy of it. The actual masters. The original recordings. The real thing. That's exactly what happened to Taylor Swift. And instead of staying quiet, she did something almost no artist in music history had ever done. She decided to build it all over again, from scratch, just to take her power back. So how did one of the biggest pop stars on the planet end up not owning her own music? And how did she turn that painful moment into one of the greatest comeback stories in the industry? Let's get into it. Taylor Swift signed her first record deal when she was just 15 years old. She was a teenager from Pennsylvania with a guitar, a notebook full of songs, and a dream bigger than most adults ever chase. The label was Big Machine Records, a small Nashville company run by a man named Scott Borchetta. Back then, Big Machine was tiny. Taylor was basically betting on them, and they were betting on her. That bet paid off in a massive way. Over the next several years, Taylor released albums that didn't just do well, they changed the entire music industry. Fearless, Speak Now, Red, 1989, Reputation, each one bigger than the last. She wasn't just a country singer anymore. She became one of the most powerful and recognizable artists in the world. But here's the thing most fans didn't think about at the time. Like most young artists starting out, Taylor signed a standard record deal. And in the music industry, standard deals almost always work the same way. The label pays to record and promote the music. In exchange, the label owns the master recordings. Not the songs themselves, she always owned the writing credit and royalties for that, but the actual audio recordings people hear on Spotify, on the radio, in movies and commercials. Those masters, legally, belonged to Big Machine. For years, this didn't seem like a huge issue. Taylor kept working with the label, kept releasing hit after hit. But behind the scenes, she had been trying to negotiate a new deal, one where she could eventually earn back ownership of her masters. Reports say she wanted a path to owning her old work in exchange for staying loyal to the label. That negotiation never worked out the way she hoped. In 2018, Taylor left Big Machine Records and signed a new deal with a different label, Republic Records. This new deal was different. It gave her ownership of everything she created going forward. But there was one massive problem. Her first 6 albums, the ones that built her entire career, stayed behind with Big Machine. And that's where things took a turn nobody saw coming. In 2019, Big Machine Records was sold. And who bought it? Scooter Braun, a talent manager who worked with artists like Justin Bieber and Ariana Grande. The deal was reported to be worth over $300 million. And with that sale, Scooter Braun now owned the master recordings of Taylor Swift's first 6 albums. Taylor said she found out about the sale the same way most of the public did, through the news. She described it publicly as the worst-case scenario for her, saying she had tried for years to buy her music outright, but was never given the opportunity. Instead, her life's work had been sold to someone she had specific personal history and tension with, without her even being consulted. Can you imagine that? Spending over a decade of your life creating something, only to find out on the internet that someone else now owns it? For most people, that would feel like the end of the story, like there was nothing left to do but accept it. But Taylor Swift is not most people. Instead of giving up, she made a decision that would completely reshape how artists think about their power in the music industry. She announced that she was going to re-record her first 6 albums, every single song, from the ground up. New recordings, same songs, same lyrics, but this time fully owned by her. This idea might sound simple on paper, but it was actually a massive undertaking. She had to rebuild entire albums, track by track, matching the emotion and sound of the originals while legally being unable to copy them exactly. She had to relive songs from her teenage years and early 20s as a fully grown woman with a completely different life experience. Some of those songs were about breakups, insecurities, dreams she had as a kid. Now she had to step back into those emotions and rebuild them, all in the name of ownership. In April 2021, the first re-recorded album dropped, Fearless, Taylor's version. And the response was massive. Fans didn't just support it, they showed up in force. The album shot straight to #1, proving that people weren't just listening out of habit. They were listening because they respected what she was doing. Then came Red, Taylor's version, which included a shocking surprise, a 10-minute version of her fan-favorite song, All Too Well, something that had never been fully released before. It became one of the most talked about music moments of that entire year. After that came Speak Now, Taylor's version, and then 1989, Taylor's version. Each release wasn't just about the music. It became a symbol, a message to the entire industry that artists don't have to just accept unfair situations. They can fight back, creatively and legally, and still win. And here's what makes this story even more powerful. This wasn't just about Taylor Swift as one artist protecting her own work. It sparked a much bigger conversation across the entire music industry. Suddenly, young artists everywhere were asking questions they hadn't asked before. Who owns my masters? What happens to my music if my label gets sold? Am I protected? Record labels started changing how they approached contracts, especially with newer artists, because they knew fans were paying attention now. Taylor didn't just protect herself, she pulled back the curtain on a part of the industry most people never thought about. There's something deeply human about this whole story too. It's not really about contracts and business deals at the core. It's about someone refusing to feel powerless in a moment where they had every reason to. It's about turning heartbreak into determination. And honestly, isn't that something we can all relate to in some way? Haven't we all had something taken from us that felt unfair? Something we couldn't control? What Taylor did was remind millions of people that even when life takes something away from you, you can still choose how you respond. You can sit with the anger, or you can use it to build something even stronger than before. Today, Taylor Swift stands as one of the most powerful and influential artists in music history, not just because of her talent, but because of her business mind. She turned a painful loss into one of the greatest comeback stories the music world has ever seen. And every time you hear Taylor's version next to a song title, you're not just hearing music. You're hearing a statement. A statement that says, "This is mine, and no one can take it from me again." So here's a question worth thinking about. If something you built with your own hands was taken from you, would you have the courage to start all over again, just to reclaim what was truly yours? Let us know what you think in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this story, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to our channel, because we've got so many more incredible stories just like this one coming your way. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.